Hi there. In 2019, the present Mrs. Camsell and myself went off on a grand European tour, had an absolutely fantastic time, but I didn't get enough time to edit all the videos together, so there were 2 legs left. This is the first of those, which was the time that we spent in Lake Garda in Italy. We are on a train, as you can see.
With a view.
With a view this time. I've managed to book a seat next to a window rather than a pillar, which Mr. C is very pleased about.
Yeah.
But we're speeding through the countryside. We've left Turin and we're heading for Verona on a train that goes all the way to Venice.
I look like a child. They're going to give me a colouring book in a minute.
Does that help?
No.
Oh look, I've got a reflecto halo.
We've got this light, we don't know how to work it. This one's not on. This one is. We can't fix it. Look at your head, all shiny.
Hello everybody. This could well be my last vlog ever. I won't even have a chance to edit it. You'll just find this when they go through my things. I'm driving in Italy. I'm genuinely terrified about this. I've been a passenger in Italy a couple of times in taxis in Milan, and when I went out to Brescia with Roy Lindridge when I was at Sante, and both times it's been utterly terrifying on the roads. But I thought I needed to overcome my fear, and hey, I'm nearly 50, life is too short. So I thought that I would hire a car when I was in Italy. Are you reading a map or are you Facebooking? Let's say I'm bearing my soul here and you're just...
I've got every faith in you, you'll be fine.
When we get to the end of this journey, either it'll be me going, do you know what, that wasn't so bad after all, or I will be an absolute nervous wreck, spend the next 4 days panicking about having to drive back to the airport again. Nevermore has Elizabeth's stock phrase, see you on the other side, been so relevant.
We got this.
You can't really see where we are, and you probably can't hear us because I haven't got my special microphone on. But we're actually on a ferry going across Lake Garda at the moment.
Surprise ferry trip.
Yes, due to a monumental balls up on behalf of Sally Satnav. It took us to completely the wrong side of Lake Garda. We've had to get a ferry across.
Literally realised that the lake was on the wrong side of us, and then the next thing she takes us off the road and we are almost literally in the queue to get on the ferry. So I had to hop out and buy a ticket. He's asking me what car we've got. I don't know, it's great.
I'm just now in the middle of Lake Garda trying to download a map from TomTom so that we can continue our journey on the other side. And I was just getting to the point where my bit about how driving was in Italy was going to be quite positive, and now it's not.
It stopped swearing and everything.
Yeah.
Hello, viewers.
Viewers? You think there's more than one person watching this?
Hi, Anne-Marie.
We had a rather large amount of salad with some cheese. We had rather a large amount of cheese for dinner tonight. So Mrs. C suggested we go for a little walk. Go for a walk up the hill. She said up the hill.
I meant to the next village, not the top.
Yeah, well, we're not at the top.
No.
So we are now 1,324 feet above sea level, which is about 400 metres above sea level. And as you can probably...
level.
No, sea level.
Lake level.
No, sea level.
Oh, that's rubbish. It's a lake.
Yeah, but the lake might be above sea level.
Maybe.
You can probably hear from both our voices, and maybe you can catch the glistening of sweat on my brow. We're not used to this sort of much vertical climbing.
Altitude, this thin air.
We are very high up. Because of the lighting, you can either see the lake or you can see us.
I think the lake is a lot more attractive.
I think the lake is a lot more attractive than we are. We are going to claim that we have climbed an Alp. Sorry, that's just a rock rolling away down there. Nothing to be alarmed about, we're fine. We're going to claim that we climbed an Alp. we didn't really. This is one of the mountains that's just bordering on Lake Garda, and we haven't nearly got to the top at all. But it's quite a stunning view from up here, but now we really do feel we should turn back because we passed some houses that look like they might belong to mafia bosses.
Yes, we really did.
And we also passed these two really bizarrely knackered looking chairs which are just perched right on the edge of a precipice, as though someone might have been plonked on these chairs, questioned, and then...
Yeah, you'd never find them.
So we're just going to sneak back down to our holiday let now and do holiday maker things. Just a quick catch up. We're not quite done in Lake Garda yet. I don't think there's going to be anything exciting to report. It's not going to be like Turin because we are really just relaxing and chilling out while we're here. Another day here, then over to Verona.
And then Gatwick.
Oh, don't say that. That's disappointing.
Yeah, back to work,
Do you want
back
to
to
just
real world.
use my vlog to do your hair?
Because look how awful I look. I look terrible.
I'm taking that out. I always take out your negative comments, your self-deprecating comments.
I look terrible.
Mrs. C looks lovely. If you think Mrs. C looks lovely, write in the comments down below.
Yeah, don't put that in.
Comment down below. Hello, welcome from the top of the world, or at least quite close to the top of the mountains around Lake Garda, which you seem to think are the Dolomites. Dolomites.
I think I read,
There we
yeah.
go. I've heard of the Dolomites. I have to say,
Triumph.
I thought they were in South America.
Triumph Dolomite. Car, isn't it?
It is a Triumph Dolomite is a car. I think Carl used to have one of those, didn't he?
That's the only
Anyway,
reason I know it.
hopefully you can see behind us the Lake Garda stretching out there. I can't remember the name of that town. Do you remember the name of the town?
No, but it's the one right at the top of the lake.
Right at the top of the lake, and we found this little walking path that you could go up, but it's also a walking and cycling path. It's very hot here today. You'll probably see my brow glistening in the sunlight. But there were a lot of cyclists. There was a school trip, wasn't there?
I think so. Sorry to all my cycling friends, but they're annoying. They just come from all directions. They don't care. But mostly what's annoying is the noise of the pedals on the stones. I know it's a challenge. I know they're after a PB and all, but they're annoying.
Out here on Lake Garda we had to drive. I didn't realise the lake was so big. We had to drive 46 kilometres to get from where we are, which is quite near the bottom of the lake, but not actually at the bottom of the lake, up to where we are. So I'm guessing the whole lake must be about 55-60 kilometres long, but it is really stunning
How
scenery.
did you not know that?
I didn't know it was that big.
Oh.
I thought it was about 30 kilometres. Didn't realise it was 60.
You thought it was like Dunk's Pond.
Yeah.
Oops.
We've come off the beaten track and we are on a fortress part which was built for World War One. And yes, these fortifications were to protect Lake Garda, but also an aqueduct, and we're not too sure where the aqueduct is. It's a 5-storey building built a kilometre into the rocks, and at the time that would have been on the road, which is now the path. I'll show you the road in a minute, but it's actually the old road to Riva. I would imagine that it was built long before cars were, given that it's slightly terrifying in terms of transportation. So this is the road from the fortress leading back down to the road. Easily passable. That's one way of getting your kids to school.
Yeah, well, I think I need that for you to drag me up this hill.
This was used when there were cars before they built the tunnel. Don't quite know the exact date when they built the tunnel, but I could imagine if you met another Fiat Cinquecento coming the other way, particularly on a bend like this, it would be nothing short of terrifying. I'll tell you something else. It's chuffing hot. What temperature would you say it is today, Mr.
Well,
C?
I can let you know, actually.
Oh, here we go.
It's Scorcho, 29 degrees.
And we're walking up a mountain.
Weather.
Okay, if we go over here,
Out of the way of the speed.
out of the way of the cyclist. Yes, you can see down there. Let me zoom in a bit. So down there is the road that we came in on Just did that little cutout bit there, and then the old road is this bit up here. You might be able to see people just moving along that little mountain ridge, and that's where we're going. Yeah, it's not just high, there's nothing under bits of that at all.
There's not.
Excellent. Once again, the last will and testament of Lord Camsell and the present Mrs. C. What a view though. Just like Vesuvius, never miss a trick for a sales opportunity. Halfway up, there's a cafe.
Oh, and a waterfall. How
And a
lovely.
waterfall, yeah.
How beautiful. Love a waterfall.
Somehow, we seem to find ourselves on the main road again. We're not entirely sure where that happened.
That's probably where I started navigating.
Yeah, I'm laughing, but that's probably what happened. That was probably the most terrifying part of the journey so far. We, yes, ended up on this main road here, and then we were heading towards a tunnel. But luckily, we found
2 tunnels.
there is a way through for pedestrians. We may be some time.
Oh, I like it.
I was going to take the camera and show you around here. This place is really fascinating. We went to the museum, and it tells about the history of paper making in this area.
How boring does that sound?
It sounds really boring.
But no.
No, it's
No,
not.
fascinating.
What's really interesting is decline of paper making in this area. They continued to use traditional techniques when everyone else was starting to mechanise. Luddites. And so there was a very rapid decline at the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century of paper making. So when you look around here, it genuinely looks like the ruins of Pompeii. In fact, I'd say Pompeii is probably in better nick than this place, but it's only been abandoned for about 100 years or so, but it got very rapidly abandoned.
They'd had paper making here since, what was it, 1350, something like that. So
Yeah.
it was hundreds of years of being top craftsmen, and then the plague nearly wiped it out, sad times. And then their own stupidity actually finally did wipe it out.
The decline was incredibly rapid, so mechanisation came in, and then you saw this sudden drop of business in this area, and so the factories got abandoned really quickly and all the people moved out, which is why it's in such a state of disrepair. There wasn't any slow decline and then people turning it into posh housing and fancy wine bars. It's just one day it was all here, and then over the period of about 5 years there was nothing, and it was all gone.
I don't know why I else get so excited about seeing fish in water. It's literally where they belong. Not allowed to swim, but I assume you're allowed to paddle.
Slightly concerned about Mrs. C's foray into the water. It's getting very deep very quickly. Mrs. C does have a real tendency to think everything's going to be okay until it isn't. They can't hear you. There could be a surge of water down here. There genuinely could, because there are hydroelectric plants all around here. Oh, this is looking really... But you're up to your knees in water, Mrs. C. You need to come back. Or at least, could you float your life insurance details across the water to me? Honestly, it's like going on an outing with your kids. Nothing, darling. You just crack on. Hopefully you can hear me, because we're actually standing in the middle of a river. Genuinely are. That's what's behind us. And it's a little bit on the noisy side. Today, Mrs. C said, we're going to find this paper museum. We just need the cemetery. It's just down the way there. And I foolishly didn't look at a map. I just took Mrs. C at her word.
What an idiot.
Apparently so. So we walked
No better.
all the way down the hill from where we are. We're about halfway up a mountain, all the way down to lake level, and we're a little bit tired, aren't we?
Our legs are.
Our legs are. And we also have got to walk all the way back up again. But worse than that, we have discovered that there is a shortcut, so we've got two really bad choices. We can either go along the winding road and it'll take forever, or we could go straight up the side via the shortcut. I think the shortcut.
I think so, yeah.
We may be some time though.
Carry me.
I'm not doing that.
Are you clean?
I might just stay here. This is very refreshing.
Climb every mountain, forge every stream, follow every byway or something, till you find your... Please don't put that in.
So that was Lake Garda. After Lake Garda, we drove down to Verona for a couple of days, and I'll bring you that video next time. Thanks for watching.